Hello everyone, this is John with the Appalachian Channel, and I'm here this morning with some sad news. A true living legend has passed away. Ralph Robertson from Greasy Holler in Speedwell, Tennessee. Many thousands of people have watched his videos over the last 2.5 years and just fell in love with the man that just spoke it the way it was. He just told it the way he saw it, and he had passed away on December 26th. I saw him on the Friday before Christmas. He had fell about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago at home and broke some ribs and punctured a lung, and he pretty much refused. He would not go to the doctor or the hospital after falling. But he eventually got so sick that they had to call somebody to come into the house, and they done an x-ray and saw that he had broke ribs, and they took him by ambulance to Middlesboro Hospital, and he stayed there for some days, and then they transferred him to Knoxville. And I got to see him when he was in Middlesboro, and then he got moved to Knoxville, and then they moved him back to the hospital here in my hometown of La Follette, where he was at until he passed away a couple days ago. I saw him on Friday before Christmas right here at the hospital. I went up, and he was out in the hallway with other people, and with the nurse's station. They had his bed out there by the nurse's station, and he was sitting out there. Well, it wasn't a bed, but it was kind of a chair they'd put him in, and he was out there in the hallway, and when I walked up, he lit up. He couldn't think exactly who I was or how he knew me, but he knew me. And he said, "Get me out of here." He said, "I need to smoke." He said, "Roll me on out of here and take me out." He said, "Can you get me out of this place?" And I spent about an hour and a half or 2 hours with him on that Friday, and he talked and went on about different things, and mainly wanting to get out of the hospital. He wasn't happy being there, and he ended up telling me that, asked me to go get him some cigarettes, and he said, "I don't have no money," but he said, "I'll pay you back later." He said, anyways, he just was wanting out like anybody would want out, and I wasn't expecting him to pass away. I'd hoped to come back and see him again over the weekend of the Christmas, and I didn't get to make it. And then they started construction on my building, and things just got tied up, and I didn't make it back to see him again. But you know, that's something that you never know what's going to happen. It's like my mom. You know, she was getting ready to come home from the hospital from a broken hip replacement surgery, and then a blood clot or something hit, and she just passed away. So we never know how much time we really have left. But Ralph was, you know, just people loved his stories, and I love some of the specific stories. Some of them that I can remember was when I first met Ralph, and you know, I wanted to go. I'd found the store by driving around sometime in probably April of 2021. I found the old Robertson store sitting out there in Greasy Holler, and that's what I was doing. I was out looking for old general stores, and it didn't have any information on the store itself, so I just took a picture of the store and I posted it on Facebook, and people immediately said, "Hey, that's the Robertson store," and his daughter Lesia has a Facebook page called the Robertson store. And I went on there and I wrote her and I said, "Hey, I'd like to come make a video about your dad in the store." And she said, "Well, no, he doesn't let anybody in the store." He said, "No." She said, "Nobody's been in the store for many years." And it did take me about 15 videos before he ever let me go into the store. He's just very protective of his stuff and everything that was in there that was his wife's, that belonged to Magdalene. But eventually he did let me go into the store. But when I asked her about it, she said, "I'll ask Dad and see if he's interested in making a video." And time went by, and I never heard back from her. And I messaged her and I said, "What did your dad say about that video?" And she said, "Well, he said he didn't think he'd know anything to say, and he just didn't want to do it." And I was disappointed and said, "Okay, if anything changes, let me know." And time went by a few weeks, and I thought, well, what if, I got to thinking, I said, maybe if I just went and met Ralph and talked to him, he might like me. And so I messaged Lisa and I said, "Can I just come meet Ralph?" And she said, "Well, sure." And it took a week or two to get the time set to where I could go. And by that time, I'd got around somebody that had COVID. And I didn't have COVID, but I didn't want to get around him. And I canceled my appointment. And I had sent Lesia a friend request on Facebook. And I noticed she made a post that his 95th birthday was coming up. And on June 22nd there of 2021. And I said, how about if I just come out to his birthday party and meet him? And she said, sure. And so I asked who he liked as an actor, and I think she said John Wayne. So I downloaded a picture of John Wayne and printed on there that said, happy birthday to Ralph Robertson, and took it to him in a frame and shook his hand and got my picture with him, made with him, and just told him, you know, that I really wanted to document the store and his life. And he said, okay. He said, you come on back and we'll do that. And I remember, you know, that first day I went to film with him there in June, right after his birthday. It's probably June 24th or 5th, right after his birthday. And it was so hot. Man, my camera shut down, overheated, and it felt like it was 103 degrees that day. But boy, we had a good time, you know. And I filmed a couple, 2 or 3 videos in that one day. And I think the third video that came out of that day, of that first visit, was one called A Man and His Tractors. And he'd showed me his old farm-all, his 1950 farm-all that he kept in the other barn over on his mom and dad's old home place there. And he had another tractor there behind his house in a barn, a Ford tractor. And we was walking up to see that Ford tractor, and he had 3 cats. And the cats were walking around, and I was beside of Ralph, and I wasn't speaking to him directly, and I didn't realize he didn't hear as good at that time, and so I didn't speak probably loud enough. And I said, Ralph, does those cats have names? And he said, what? He said, the mange. He said, I don't reckon they got the mange. And I said, no, I didn't. I said, do they have names, Ralph? And he said, no. He said, I don't reckon they got the mange. And twice he thought I asked if his cats had the mange. And, you know, he didn't get upset about it. I think I would have got upset if somebody would have looked at my cats and says, does your cats have the mange? And he just said, no. He said, I don't reckon. And that was one of the things about Ralph. He just, he took things as it went, and he wasn't upset about me, you know, mistakenly thinking I was asking if his cats had mange. But, you know, Ralph had lived there his entire life in Greasy Holler, never lived anywhere else, and that Appalachian dialect stuck with him, and some of those old terminology terms that he grew up with as a kid never changed, and that accent never changed. And he would you know, use words like reckon and words that we don't hear much anymore. And it was always a treat to hear those old-timey words that he would use to describe things or whatever. But boy, he told some great stories of growing up as a kid and running the store. And I spent many, many hours with him and made almost 40 videos with him. And most of those videos were made in the first year, from his 95th to his 96th birthday. And then after that, Ralph, his health started declining. He didn't want to get out as much, and the videos slowed down. And the last video I made was June of this year, June 22nd, on his 97th birthday. We got to film there at the Cosby General Store, and where they had his birthday. And we had just such a wonderful, wonderful day that day, him coming out and seeing the old-timey General Store Museum. And if you've not seen that video, make sure you check it out. It was the last one I made with him. And but you know, the store's still there in Greasy Holler, and I think one of them daughters of his might open that store back up one day. Wouldn't that be something, to see a 4th generation Robertson open that store back up and turn it into a little restaurant and gift shop of some kind? And I'd like to encourage them to maybe do that now that he's passed away. Ralph he got to where he wanted to retire and didn't want to fool with the store anymore, but he was really particular, like I said earlier, about letting anybody in there. And we got to go in the store twice over those years and film, and it was just amazing to go in and see that store that was built in the 20s and still there. So many people loved the Robertson family. You know, when I first started posting videos about Ralph, there were so many stories about how they would help families out, you know, that didn't have money, give them credit. I know one person posted that their daddy got killed in the mines, and it took almost a year and a half for them to finally get their settlement, to get some money. And the Robertsons, you know, carried their groceries on tab for them all that time, and they survived by, you know, by just good old country people trying to help somebody else out. And Magdalene was one of the people that everybody in the community loved. She worked with her church, and she worked with the kids, and she loved everybody. And the Robertson family is just so loved. And he'll be buried there on the farm where he was born, right there where he's lived his whole life practically, you know. And he'll be with Magdalene now, and we're going to miss him. But we got those videos that we can watch, and we'll continue to always be there, right there on YouTube and Facebook for you to watch. And I don't know anything about his arrangements or anything coming up, but I will put Lesia, her address in the description of the video, so that you can, if you want to send a card to the Robertson family, there'll be a mailing address there, and you can do that. And, you know, I really hate to bring that news this morning, but I know people have been asking about him, why I hadn't been making videos in a while, and it had to do with his health declining and things like that. So, you know, we're going to miss him, but we are blessed to have the videos that we do have of his wisdom and his stories. And you know, so many comments. People said Ralph Robertson for president, or, you know, I don't know how many comments said that he was a true American treasure or a true living legend. And so many comments about Ralph. So many people loved him, you know, and he got things sent to him in the mail. He got frog legs sent to him one time, and because we made a video about all the frogs disappearing in his pond and how he used to like to eat the frog legs. And we got to, you know, eat frog legs with Ralph there, and his daughters, Joey and Lisa, fried them frog legs up, and I had never tried them, but they was actually really good. So there's the things like that that I experienced with Ralph that I always will remember and treasure in my heart. And once again, be praying for the Robertson family. He's got 6 daughters and grandkids and great-grandkids. And I'll let you know on anything that I can, on updates in the future about what's going on. And I appreciate you all, love you all, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Bye-bye.
No, it's rough, but that's all we had seemed like rocky ground. I bet that's all we grew was rocks. You know, it's funny. I remember every year, every spring, Dad dragged that down, we'd haul them rock out of there, and you'd think it'd be perfect. Then the next year, when he turned ground, they had just as many rock come back up, didn't it? Yeah. They never disappeared.
Seemed like it grow.
I believe it did. Yeah, they grow rocks like tasers, I believe.
What are you eating, a sausage biscuit? If it got egg on it?
Sausage and eggs and biscuits.
Oh my goodness. That come from Hardee's?
No, I reckon Lisa made it.
Oh, that's home cooked. It didn't come out of a bag then, did it? Well, you're a pretty lucky fella. You got these daughters here cooking for you every day. I wish I had me 6 daughters, a different one every day, come cook something for me. That's nice, ain't it?
Yeah, one a day.
One a day. You got it made. You're spoiled rotten, I believe is what's wrong. You think you might be spoiled a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. With these daughters taking care of you like they do. What are you doing? You looking at your videos on there?
Trying to get it to play.
Trying to play another one? Yeah. You got a bunch of comments on there from the one I posted this morning. That's talking about your Little Debbie cherry pies that we filmed when we was up here last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, I guess they sell Little Debbie's in about every state. I thought they was just kind of here in East Tennessee, but we got comments everywhere on there. Did you see them?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me show you. I think we can look at it right there. It's just, there you go. There's probably over 100 comments on there already this morning about them Little Debbie cherry pies and stuff. So we got quite a few people that posted on there already.
You may have to read them to me.
Want me to read some of them to you? What was the name of this store?
Val Gully.
Val Gully. It looked like it was Val?
Dow.
Dow. Oh, okay.
Val Gully.
You remember it being open, Lesia?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah. So they just a general store and sold a little bit of everything?
Tell
Yeah.
him about the phone, Daddy.
Huh?
Tell him about the phone.
Used to be people down in Greasy Holler used to have to come here if they wanted to call out on the phone.
Oh, really?
Right here was the closest phone.
Oh, wow. That's quite a distance from Greasy Holler.
Yeah.
What years was that when you... I'm going to get ready to go home, and I'll holler back at you later in the week or first of the week, and we got some more things to do next time.
I used to go up there to Earl's Holler in my boat all the time.
I know it.
Fish up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day we'll
I've
get...
caught a lot of fish up in there.
Oh, yeah, I bet you have.
Yeah.
They say it's good fishing up there.
Yeah. Yeah, Earl's Holler was a good place to fish.
Yep. Well, you want to tell everybody bye in the video? We've never done that before.
What?
You want to tell everybody goodbye?
Bye.
Say see y'all.
Bye.
Say we'll see y'all next time.
We'll see you next time.